Alright guys, we finally got our boards in. It's been quite the wait, much longer than I expected, but we finally got them in. You can see the little high idle board here, so we just have to cut that out, and there it is. For size reference, I was gonna get you a coin or something, then I realized, you know what, we're truck people, we have to have truck things. So I saw a spark plug and I thought, oh perfect, then I realized, no, I was gonna get an earful, so boom, 12 valve injector. Can't ask for more than that. There's your size reference. So now we're just going to assemble them. We got the main things here. First of all, let's get a close-up of this guy really quick. Come on, you can focus. Okay, I think that's about right. So here is a close-up. You can see that we have everything labeled, really nice and pretty like. We got the 3 diodes. Well, first of all, here's your 3 diodes here, a resistor and then a transistor. If you look on the back, the 1N407, that's the model number of the diodes. Then we have the 1K, which is 1000 ohm resistor, and we got the transistor labeled as a BC338. And we got the CC high idle, cruise control high idle, V2.2. So this is basically a stage 2 unit, but it's the 0.2 means that it's the upgraded solid state design, really compact, super awesome. And on this guy here we have the pinouts. Well, it's first here. This guy here, we have the R. And that means that goes to the raise wire to the solenoid, which means like the vent, or I'm sorry, the vacuum wire. Then we have the lower, which is the vent wire. D is the dump wire. G is ground, and then we have 12 volts in, and then NC. I ground off some of the C there, but it's NC, which is no connection, so you don't connect that to anything. Then for our little button side of it, which would have our switches and whatnot on it, we have the power out. That's PO. Let's turn this around there so you can see it. PO means power out, it's going out of the board. And we got PI, which is power into the board. So basically, this power out is basically just hooked up straight to the 12 volt, can't blame me, 12 volt pin right here. So you really could just connect it all together. I thought it would be really simple, just have wires coming in, wires coming out. So anyway, so power out to your switch, that's your enable switch, power back in from your enable switch. Then you have your lower switch, both of which are normally open switches, both your lower and your raise. So you go power out to your lower switch and then power back in from your lower in, and then raise switch goes out and then raise switch back in. So basically you hook your power switch to those two, a lower switch to those two, and raise switch to those two. Pretty simple. Also, while we're at it, I just want to mention that the pin out here, there's nothing really sacred about the spacing and whatnot, except they happen to fit this connector. I don't know if I wasn't really planning on actually having a connector on them. I was figured just solder it straight to the board, but if you want, you have some options. This is a 3.96 millimeter spacing connector, 6-pin connector, so whatever. I don't know actually how common those are as far as getting them elsewhere, but I can get some from a certain place if you are interested in those. Frankly, I'd just be tempted to solder it so you know you don't have to have any issues with connections. So anywho, as far as the diodes and stuff, we're gonna put those in there right now. So just strip them. There you go. Diode, you just take it and you bend it over. We want a nice arcing core. We don't want to go too tight because the spacing on those guys aren't that close. Now you can see you have a silver stripe on there, right? If you look on the board, there's a stripe there too. So that you just put them so they're similar. Oh, wonderful cats. I think they have a rat to eat or something. Okay, again, silver stripe. Nice wide arcing bend. I messed up. Whatever. Put that in there. Try to make it somewhat even so you don't look like you're an idiot on TV. And then this one. And then this guy here is actually going the opposite direction. So just make sure you remember that. One thing I'm going to mention here while we're doing this is I will put a wiring diagram on how to wire this guy up in the article. I'll put the article in the description, and I'll put this video in the article as well. Just how to wire this guy up, because we are putting the diodes that would normally go down by the cruise control solenoid. These are those 3 diodes here. You could just bypass this with wires if you wanted to, or you already have it down there. But we're just going to install the diodes down here, or up here. That way, it's just a little simpler. You don't have to worry about that down there. Less clutter and whatnot. It makes it easier. Then we have the resistor, same thing. Resistors are not position specific, so they're basically bidirectional. So just throw that in whichever way you please. So you just poke him through like that, and we bend it out so that way when we solder it up, it doesn't fall out. And we got the BC338 here. The part number's on the back there, but I'm never going to get to focus on that. Now you'll see that the pinout is actually different here, and they got them spread or something for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It'll clip down there either way. So you just get them started, and you push hard enough, anything will happen. Like that, and it just clips down. You gotta separate them again because it kind of messed it up. But yeah, assembly, really easy. Now we're just going to solder those up. And, whoa, that's really crooked. That's messed up. Nah, whatever. We're not looking for a beauty contest here. Okay, we're now, speaking of beauty contest, rusty old soldering iron. Fun fact, I was doing some soldering a while back. A lot of soldering a while back. A little tight in the back pocket though. I got tired of this little thing here, but like I said, I was tight in the back pocket. So I said to myself, when this thing dies, regardless of what my back pocket's feeling like, I'm going to get myself a Heiko 880. Or whatever it is, 88, whatever it is. This miserable thing won't hold still. Well, that was 3 years ago. And this thing refuses to die. So, whatever. Let's do this. Like that. I gotta clean off this tip a little bit. It's giving me issues. Oh, one thing I should have done too, or I did, but I should have done it on camera to show you guys. Because anytime you handle these boards, you're putting a film of oil on them. What you're gonna want to do, let me refocus here. There, maybe you can see something now. What you're gonna want to do is rubbing alcohol and a little cloth just to clean it all up, because anytime you're handling it, oil, not good for solder. I mean, which is quite possibly why this is not giving me as easy a time as it could be, because I was just handling that diesel injector, so it kind of backfired on me slightly there. I should have cleaned it up more, or at all, before doing this. Those are going to be the most miserable looking solders ever. I'll just blame it on the soldering iron. That's a nice thing about having junk stuff, is that you can blame it on other things and people will believe you. There we go. Now we got a little transistor here. I'm gonna screw this up really bad. I know what I will. Because my hand's not steady right now. Too much coffee. Oh, there's one. Success so far. These guys are such close pinout. It's just miserable. I think I may have actually succeeded there. Nope, that's bridged. So when it's bridged like that, what you do is you just clean off your soldering iron tip with like an old rag that you don't care about, and then you just soak it up and flick up like that. And what that does is kind of remove solder until there's not enough to actually bridge the gap. These boards, which are nice about them, is they have a solder paste, which means that they basically the solder will only stick to the pins themselves and won't actually stick to the board. So I said starter paste, I meant starter mask. Solder mask. Still a little bit there. Keep wiping and keep going. You do want to be a little careful here, as you don't want to overheat it, the transistor. So don't go too crazy. This guy needs a new tip. Also needs a new operator, but that's another issue. Actually, it needs a new address. That's the real fix. Again, blame the tools. Top tip. So we're close there. There, that's unbridged, and I think the other one's good as well. If you have any questions, make sure to, yeah, that's good. Use a soldering iron, or not soldering iron, multi-tool, multimeter to make sure you're not bridged or anything. But there you have it. There are the boards assembled. Now you just put your wires in, and there you have it. We're gonna be I'm gonna see if I can test these guys to make sure everything's gonna work as I hoped it would. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna test it, as my current rig in the truck will not hook up to this, and I have to cut off my certain current connector ends and either solder them on or use a new connector or something. So a little bit extra BS than I really don't want to have to go through. So we'll see. I'll somehow test this. And frankly, it should work. So if somebody wanted to take one and test it for me, I'd be super appreciative. Anywho, there you have it. Really super slick. Again, size reference. Ah, fancy. Look at that. I mean, I don't exactly have any enclosures for it, but just wrap it in electrical tape and you'll be fine. So there you have it. Finally, can't wait to see somebody put one to good use. Well, we were hardly done. Still got to cut off all these wire craps. Just use our nice and bulky side cutters here. You had small ones, you might look like you know what you're doing. So, big ones are better. So there you go. And that leaves an ugly finish that no one wants to look at. So what we can do now is we just, well actually look at that. That resistor rode up. I screwed up there. I meant to be pushing it in while I soldered it. So we can just push it in now. Make so you can see what we're doing. Push it in, heat up the joint, push it in a little bit, and then go on the other side. Try not to burn your thumb. And just repeat. Here's one side. Again, see what we're doing. Oh, that's it. It's in. Perfect. Transistor could be a little better as well, but I don't care about it. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to end up bridging it, but who cares? So you got to heat them all up at the same time. That's good. Did I bridge it? No. Amazing. That is proof that a greater power exists. So there we go. Now we just, we're going to cut off those resistor joints because we stuck them down further. Like that. Everything else seems cut off pretty correctly. And then we just hit it with the soldering iron just to, again, so you can see, make a nice clean looking solder blob. Actually, those are good. So there you have it. Assembled.